Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Online English 102. I'm Bradley Bleck, your instructor, and I just want to give you a quick rundown of the course and of the first week's work. So if you look at the module for this week, I'm not going to show it to you. You can just click on the modules in Canvas. I'm assuming you know how to use it. You'll see that there is an essay there that says the theory behind this course. It's optional reading. Don't feel like you have to read it, but if you want to, it's there. What it talks about is a concept called the rhetorical situation, and the logic behind this is that the more you know about the rhetorical situation, the more you think about the rhetorical situation when you engage in any what we would call active discourse or discoursal activity, that you keep these things in mind, and that is who's your audience, what's your reason for communicating, what's the genre of communication, like I'm communicating with a video right now and I'm kind of doing a lecture, so a video lecture would be the genre of this, and what is the context. So if we think about this video here, you, my students of English 102 online class at Spokane Falls Community College during the spring of 2019 are my audience. You all have completed English 101 successfully with a C or better. Here, somewhere else, I don't honestly know about that. The purpose of this video is to introduce myself, let you see a human being on the other side of the screen, to give you an overview of the course, and just to establish a personal connection. So there's that. I mentioned the genre. I'm fundamentally lecturing you, though I don't know that this is a lecture in the most traditional sense. It's a video. And so those two things are the genre. And the context is that this is the beginning of the class, and you don't know anything about me for the most part, and I know nothing about you. None of your names look familiar, but I'll have to review them because sometimes I forget names. I remember faces, but I sometimes forget names. So who knows? Maybe some of you have had me for a teacher before. So anyway, the rhetorical situation, every time you communicate, there's an audience. You communicate for a purpose. You use a particular genre, and you are doing it within a certain context. And when you think about those four things, every time you communicate and you evaluate them and get as much information as you can, you are more liable to communicate effectively. So there's that idea there. So really important, and you'll hear more about it over the next 10 weeks. The next thing I want to get onto is the workload. I, again, don't know anything about you all as students. You're all individuals. When I began teaching online in 1994, I suspect before many of you were born, but I don't really know that, I'm guessing. Students saw online courses as kind of an easier, softer way to get certain credits, and I'm going to tell you that this is not the case, that this will be as much work as a face-to-face class. It won't be any easier in any respect that I can think of, though I may well be wrong. The traditional rule of thumb is that you should plan on spending 15 hours a week on a 5-credit class. I don't honestly think that you will need to budget that many hours. I would say probably 10 is going to be realistic. The thing to do with that is when you, if you're not doing as well as you would hope to, sometimes that means you need to spend more time. So you're just going to want to allot your time and be flexible in that regard. As you saw from the email I sent out earlier today, I expect that you will be doing a lot of consistent work. Maybe not a lot of work, but you will be working consistently. This is not a course where you bang out something over the weekend and submit it on Monday and you're done with it kind of thing. We will do all sorts of exercises and activities, all of which build into assignments, but they require a little bit of work at a time, or small steps at a time. It's not sit down, do a big assignment, turn it in, be done with it. We will be working what teachers call scaffolding assignments, building our way up to things. There won't be any busy work, so everything I do to the best of my ability, I make it serve the purpose of the particular assignment. So there's no outside exercises, that sort of thing. There are a couple of things for this week to get us started, to get us acclimated, and to help us get to know each other, but that's how I do it. So you've got to plan on regular, consistent work, not too much at a time. In the email I mentioned, I believe I mentioned, it's kind of like music or athletics or something like that. I am trying to be a guitarist, and so I need to practice, roughly speaking, an hour a day pretty much every day. I can't practice for 7 hours on Sunday or whatever and expect to improve. By the same token, I ride a bicycle a lot and I race it. I cannot get fit to be a racer. I don't know if I can get fit to be a racer at all, really, but I go out and race anyway. But I have to do workouts and training consistently, an hour a day, hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, whatever it takes. But regularly, you can't just do that on the weekend or 2 days a week or something like that and expect to improve. And the same is absolutely true of writing. The more you write, the more comfortable you become, the more fluid it becomes. So I'm doing a lot of things, and there will be reasonably, hopefully the schedule will become clear as we move along. And if not, we'll work on that. I'm not a hard and fast deadline person. Generally speaking, things will be due at midnight. I'm not sitting up, and so if they come in at 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the morning, that doesn't much matter. It just depends. Work has to be done in time to let us move forward as a class, and so late work hinders you and makes a mess of things. We want to avoid that kind of stuff. Still, somewhat in this workload vein, you need to regularly check your Canvas messages or have those forwarded to an email that you check regularly. Create a new one if you need to. I will do my best to minimize how much I send, but so when I send something, I expect that it is paid attention to, and you are essentially held accountable for that information once I send it to you, whether you read it or not. So you want to make sure to read it so you don't get lost in anything. And the next thing is you have 2 assignments in Canvas right now. One is a quick little introductory game, and again, this is just to get to know us because we're people here, we're working with each other, and it's a way, I guess you'll call it an icebreaker. There's also and you shouldn't spend too much time on that. It should take you just a few minutes to come up with your 2 truths and a lie about yourself, and then read and respond to some others. I can't remember how many I told you to read and respond to. Don't give away your answer. Keep it going, kind of like a parlor game, I guess, for a little while. The other one is a writing exercise that I do on the first day in the classroom. So in the classroom, it takes about 50 minutes. So you don't want to spend any more than that, not much more anyway, on that exercise where I ask you to come up with a list of 10 things you're good at or know a lot about. Choose one, make a list of details about it, write about one of those details, and so on and so forth. And it walks you through the steps. If you want, you can share your final product in the 5th step. That's optional. Only I will see that you do these works. And also, as I noted online, we're expected to find a way to prove that you're participating in the class for financial aid reasons and other things like that. Even if you're not on financial aid, there are people who want in this class, and so in order to hold your place, you have to do these first bits of work to show that you're part of the class. Otherwise, you will be dropped from the class and somebody else will take your place. So don't let that happen. Just do those things. Later, probably tomorrow, I will add some annotation materials. I always start English 102 with an annotation exercise. It's a little more challenging online, particularly since I don't know what software you have access to, but you can, if need be, simply print the texts I give you, and I'll give you more information on this, and do your annotations by hand in the margins, and take a picture with your phone. Oh Lord, the screen just died because of a stupid timeout thing. Okay, we're back on. I guess I better wiggle my mouse every couple minutes. So anyhow, hopefully you don't get a blank screen there. So what am I saying? Oh, annotation. So yeah, that's one of the things, and I can't find any good annotation software online. You know, depends what kind of Adobe you have access to, and there's other softwares, but I don't like any of them. So if you have one you like, you can share it with the class, and we'll see how it goes from there. So the final bit of information for now is just to let you know, I have a schedule, but it's flexible. I try to make it work for everybody as well as I can. I'm not, rigid. We must do X by a certain amount of time, but we also need to get a certain amount of work done for the class to be successful and to make it a worthwhile learning experience. So, there's some flexibility, but not too much. And so once work is no longer contributing to your learning, and I'm the sole judgment maker on that from my experience and all that kind of stuff, then it's not accepted, it's too late, and we'll move on from there. So but yeah, so anyhow, this is my train of thought. So that's longer than I wanted to go with this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm always open to whatever you need help with, and I'll do my best there. So welcome to the class. Kind of nice to meet you. If you want, put a visual avatar somewhere in Canvas, so it doesn't have to be you. It can be your cat, your dog, your horse, your cow, whatever, your chickens, you name it. But it'd be nice to see some visual representation. You can also change your name in Canvas if you didn't know, in case it's a name you don't like and you want to go by something else. Just make sure I can tie you to the grade book somehow at some point. Other than that, welcome to the class. Hope things are going to go well. I plan on them going well. Take care, and we will chat later. Bye-bye.